Hello, hi, welcome back to my little corner of the internet and Pokemon TCG in Tabletop Simulator, where I am enjoying myself playing some exhibition matches in a little tournament, and I hope that you are too. These are all cards that I own in real life. These are my decks that I've built up, and we're going to have a tournament with them. So this means that if you haven't watched any of the previous videos, we always start by just going through a little bit with what the rules are, and then a showcase of the main cards in each deck. Just so you know, of course, with this we play on the unlimited format of rules, which means every card from every set is legal. In order to make that less broken, because you still of course have your normal rules of the 60 card deck, no more than 4 cards of the same name in your deck, 6 prize cards, you win when you take all 6. But to balance it out, we have a little few rules on the side here just to help that be a bit easier on everybody. So on here we have the starting player is able to attack on the first turn. Any Pokemon EX cards from before the GX or the V era only yield 1 prize card, because they used to yield 2, but they're not as strong as they used to be, and there's a couple of cards here in this match that maybe might show that a little bit. In deck building we have 12 trainer cards. That counts for supporters, trainer cards, Pokemon tool cards and stadium cards allowed when we build our decks. That obviously is to stop it from being horrendously broken. Some championship matches and professional matches, they have 30 or so trainers. They go through their entire deck in one turn and the game is over. And I'd rather, put a bit more content out there for you guys. And of course, we also have fossil trainer cards. They have their own slight, addendum to the rules, but we haven't actually got to any of those decks yet. And then all the cards, you read them as normal, and the potion cards, of course, will heal 30. They've all been kind of errata to heal 30. As I mentioned, all these decks, they are decks I own in real life. They're built on a 1-to-1 scale. So let's take a look at the cards that we have in this match here today. So we're going to start with the Pidgeot deck. Now, those of you who have played Pokemon for a little while are going to recognize this Pidgeot. He is insane. He has a Pokepower called Quick Search, and once during your turn, you can choose any card from your deck and put it into your hand. Now, normally, you've got to reveal the card you show to your opponent. You've got to show you're getting the right one. You're getting a Pokemon, you reveal it. Pidgeot can search for anything, which means you don't have to reveal it. Just put it into your hand. It's so cool. There's 2 of them in this deck, and he is really cool, and he doesn't even need to be active for it to work. Coupled with him, on the bird side of the whole thing, is Ho-Ho EX. Ho-Ho EX is one of these older Pokemon EX cards, where it actually used to give you 2 prize cards, but now we only have it yielding 1 prize card because he's not as strong as he used to be, so it balances things out. But Ho-Ho X is a Pokepower, where if you would knock him out by damage from an opponent's attack, you can put 2 energy attached to Ho-Ho X to your opponent's put that to your Pokemon in any way you like. So you can just, when he gets knocked out, you can move 2 of those energy to somebody else. Comes in really handy. And he has a move called Rainbow Burn, and Rainbow Burn is so cool because it does 10 damage plus 20 more damage for each different type of basic energy card attached to Ho-Ho EX. Now what's really cool about that is if you look on his attack, it uses 3 colorless, so you can use 3 of any type of energy to do it. So if you have 3 different energies, you're going to do 70 damage per turn with that move. That means this deck is a triple type deck. We've got 3 different types of energies in here, and what better place to put in a triple type deck than Evolutions. These guys are scattered throughout all of my decks because there's so many of them now, and they've been around since the beginning. And in this deck we have the originals. We have Vaporeon, Jolteon and Flareon. There's not much to write home about with them really. They're decent Pokemon. Flareon can do Fire Spin for 70 damage. Jolteon's top attack can paralyze you if you get ahead, and his bottom attack can do up to 80 damage. And Vaporeon here can heal himself 20 and can hit different Pokemon. He can hit the bench if he wants to. Some cool Pokemon, really. There's also a Glaceon in this deck, but we'll get to that. On this side, we have the deck captained by Sharpedo. My boy, my shark. We love the shark. This is the Fighting Dark type deck. Sharpedo, with the active Pokemon, if he's damaged by an opponent's attack, you flip a coin, and if heads, discard an energy card attached to the attacking Pokemon. So that can also be a huge impact. If you're starting to try and damage the boy, you're just going to potentially lose your energy. His attacks aren't best, 20 and 60, but it can really help out. On this side we have Tyranitar EX. There's another Tyranitar in this deck, and Tyranitar is one of my favourite. He is actually probably my favourite Pokemon of all time. And he has a really cool move in the Critical Crush and 80 damage. But this just sort of goes to show you what I mean about the old EX cards. Back in the day, this is a 2004 card. This card was terrifying. It does 80 damage, discarding 2 basic energy cards attached to him, or his attack does nothing. That's not scary anymore. There's some Pokemon that do 80 damage for 2 energies. Or more, even. Some of the VMAXs are terrifying for that. And it goes to show this is why we have it just being 1 prize card, because they're not worth that 2 anymore, essentially. And what kind of shows that is this guy here, Eternatus V. V's are another one of the gimmick kind of cards that you have. In that Eternatus, the V is still an Eternatus, but it's an Eternatus V, and he gives you 2 prize cards. But you look at this, 30 damage for 1 energy, and you can attach a dark energy card from your hand to one of your bench Pokemon. And Dynamax Cannon 120 plus. If your opponent's active Pokemon is a Pokemon VMAX, this attack does 120 more damage. VMAXs can only evolve from Vs, by the way, but they are insanely powerful cards, and we will get to some of those. There are in my deck somewhere. But it goes to show you the difference between the 2 cards. That's 4 energies, it's just like the Critical Crush attack, and it doesn't discard anything, and it does more damage. The power creep is there, and that's why we've done what we do. And then just to top it all off, we have the Crocodile in here. He is part of that family. You got the whole family in here. And Crocodile, when it's 140 HP, does Torment and Krukorol, which which does 60 plus. If he has damage counters on him already, if the other guy is already hurt, it does more damage. So it just kind of powers up the more you use it. So there we go. That's the decks that we're using today. So we're just going to whack them on up here. And we'll get started with our game. Just get things sorted. I hope you've been enjoying the Pokemon gameplay, the Pokemon cards. Maybe you've learned something. Maybe you've seen cards you haven't seen in a long time. Let me know if you have. Let's draw our Pokemon cards. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're looking for a basic. We don't have one yet. 5. There we go. 6 and 7. As you can see, we've already got 3 different types of basic energy cards in there. The fire, the lightning, and the water energy cards. So on this side, let's see what we get. We're going to draw 7, 1, 2, that's not a basic, 3, 4, a couple of stadiums, 5, there's a basic, 6 and 7. Okay, each set has basic Pokemon. So we put our prize cards down, ready to go. Here we go. 6 prize cards, and as always, you knock out a Pokemon, you take a prize card, unless it says you take more than 1. So let's take a look at this hand. We've got a couple of Pidgeys. If you've been a Pokemon fan for long enough, you know who Pidgey is. He's one of the very first guys you come across in the very first game. This Pidgey here has 60 HP and a move called Peck Off that does damage and discards Pokemon tool cards attached to the active Pokemon. And this Pidgey here has 50 HP, so less HP, but it has 2 attacks, one which reduces damage taken next turn by 20, and one that does 20 damage. I think I'm going to start with the lower Pidgey, because we might come across Pokemon tools moving forward, I'm not sure, but you never know. So we're going to start with this one here. On this side we have 2 basic Pokemon. We have Sandile and we have Larvitar. Larvitar can attack straight away, he only needs 1 energy, as you can see here, and Sandile needs 2. However, we have this Krokorok here, who evolves from Sandile and uses 1 energy to attack. So we might go with the Krokorok, if I'm being honest here, and just find out where we go. So I'm going to start with Sandile with an aim to evolve into Krokorok. So there we go. So let's roll our Pikachu dice. Heads will start on the left hand side and tails will start on the right hand side. Let's go. It's a tails. Okay, so we're going to start on this side. Draw a card, start our turn. It's an energy search. Always helpful. You can use it to just grab a basic energy. But we're going to put our dark energy card on Sandile. And we're not going to do anything else. He needs 2 energies to do his attack. We can't evolve on the first turn. So we're going to have to just let that one go for the second. But it's okay, because we have Krokorok. We're just building. So we're going to pass along. We're going to start on this turn, draw a card. Interviewer's questions. Okay, this is a great card in a deck like this. Interviewer's questions states, look at the top 8 cards of your deck. Choose as many energy cards as you like. Show them to your opponent and put them into your hand. Shuffle the other cards back into your deck. That's our 1 supporter card for the turn. But I'm just going to put the 8 cards down here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, shiny. 5, 6, 7, and 8. That's a good haul. That's a good haul. We've got 5 energy cards here. We're going to grab the 5 energy cards. The other 3 cards, we shuffle them back into our deck. This accomplishes 2 things in a triple type deck. It gets you energy that you might need later on, which is a huge deal. But it also gets those energies out of your deck as well. They're in your hand, they're ready to go when you are. But now you've got more chance of drawing a Pokemon or an evolution or something like that. We don't really need to worry about what energy we put on Pidgey either. We've got backup of each type, so we'll put a lightning energy on Pidgey and we'll play Growl. Growl basically means that during your opponent's next turn, any damage done by attacks from the defending Pokemon is reduced by 20. When it says from the defending Pokemon, if you switch, then Growl wouldn't work anymore. The defending Pokemon is the one that's currently being hit with the attack. If I evolve him, by the way, he will still stay as the same defending Pokemon. So the Growl will still work when I inevitably evolve next turn. But that's the attack. So let's draw a card to start our turn here. We've drawn Pupitar. Okay, he evolves from Larvitar. That's a cool card to have. We won't play that just yet, but we will evolve into Krokorok. We can't really do anything just yet because Bite does 20 damage. And obviously Growl, that we did before with the Pidgey, will reduce it by 20. It's also worth noting that Pidgey is resistant to fighting types by 20 as well. So it's not the best start really. The birds are going to come in really handy here. However, we have the opportunity to just start powering him up a little bit. We do also have a couple of stadiums here where dark Pokemon can't be asleep, confused or paralyzed, and another stadium which allows dark Pokemon, anyone that has any dark energy attached to it has no weakness. So they can come in handy potentially, Sydney Stadium and Shadow Circle. But we don't need them just yet. We can attack, but it's not going to do anything. So let's pass along and we'll start our turn on this side. Let's draw a card. We've drawn a Pidgeot. Okay, not a bad card to draw, but we don't have Pidgeotto. We can't evolve him yet. What does Cynthia's Guidance do? Look at the top 7 cards of your deck. Choose one of them and put it into your hand and put the other cards back on top of your deck. Okay, let's do that. Let's look at 7 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so we have in here, we have 2 Pidgeottos that we could use. We have the Ho-Ho EX as well, which we could start to power up. The fact that we have a Pidgeot in our hand, however, makes me think I want to go with grabbing a Pidgeotto. So I'm going to grab this Pidgeotto here. And we'll shuffle these back into our deck. That's our 1 supporter for this turn. Pidgeotto here needs 2 energies to use his top attack, and the Pidgeot needs 3 energies to do its bottom attack. So in the next 2 turns, Pidgeot will be fully powered up, which is awesome to see. But let's go with this Pidgeotto. So let's put a water energy on him, and let's evolve into Pidgeotto, and we can play Gust for 20 damage. So Gust over here. We're going to hit for 20 damage. Krokorok has 90 HP. So he's not anywhere close to being knocked out just yet. But the opportunity we know we're building. We're hopefully going to take some shots. So that's the attack. That's the end of the turn. We'll draw a card over here. We've drawn another Sandile. Okay. I do like Sandile. He's a very cool Pokemon. I'm going to evolve Larvitar into Pupitar. And I'm going to play this Energy Search. Because I have no energy in my hand now. And I want to try and get Pupitar ready to go for his movement in the future. You know, we need that boy to get going. So Energy Search, we're going to go and search out a Fighting Energy, I think would be the best idea. So let's do that. Boom shakalaka. And we'll get that on him. He's only got one move, he's only got Rage, and he's busting through the wall. So he's you don't want to mess with that Pupitar, I'll tell you now. But it's not his time yet. It's time for the Krokorok, and we're going to play Bite again. I've messed up, haven't I? I have messed up a little bit. You know what? We're not going to put the energy on Pupitar. I shouldn't do that. Normally, I shouldn't do that, but I'm going to put it on Krokorok instead. I'm playing just as a friendly kind of match. And when I play with my best friend, we do actually kind of work on that agreement. We say, "Oh, can I take that back and put it away?" And normally we're pretty cool with it. If you're playing in like a professional environment, that wouldn't fly. I will say that for sure. But I'm going to do it because I like to kind of hide my mistakes. We're going to play Crunch for 40 damage. And Crunch does a move where if you get a heads, you flip a coin and get a heads, you discard an energy attached to the defending Pokemon. So actually it's better than Pupitar. Just powering him up on the Pupitar. So let's roll the dice. We got a heads. Okay, beautiful. So getting the heads on the Crunch means it does 40 damage, and we discard an energy attached to Pidgeotto. Obviously he's resistant to fighting types. As you can see at the bottom of his card here, resistant minus 20, so 40 damage only becomes 20 that he takes out of his 80 HP. But we will discard an energy, we'll discard the lightning energy, and that's the attack. That's the end of the turn. So we'll draw a card, we've drawn a potion. Potion, you can heal for 30 damage with that, so that's always helpful. So let's play the potion. Why not? We'll play the potion, and that heals Pidgeotto all the way. He can heal 30 damage, so he's only got 20 on him. Let's evolve into Pidgeot anyway. We don't have enough energy now to do its bottom attack, but we can add another energy, which is our 1 energy for the turn, and we can play Clutch. Clutch does 40 damage, and the defending Pokemon cannot retreat during your opponent's next turn. So he basically, Pidgeot just claws. He's got him in his claws, man. He's holding on to him. And so here we go. Krokorok is going for a flight, I suppose. But 40 damage. So he's on 60 damage out of his 90 HP. What we really now need is something good to maybe get this deck going, because it's not looking brilliant, is it? So let's draw a card. It's a Dark Energy. I will put that on Pupitar, because I think I'm going to need him next turn. And I'm going to play Crunch again. 40 damage, and we flip a coin. If heads, discard an energy. This is where you kind of just get to be annoying. You want to try and annoy him. You want to try and burn through this energy. We got another heads, so we're going to do some more damage. Pidgeot is still resistant to fighting types. Many birds are, to be honest with you. So he's only going to hit 20 out of that 40 damage, but we will discard an energy. So there we go. So let's draw a card, start this turn over here. Evo Soda. Evo Soda's cool. Search your deck for a card that evolves from one of your Pokemon and put it onto that Pokemon. I'm going to save that card for the time being. It can also circumvent evolution rules. Because you're not evolving in the standard way, you can use that to evolve a card you've just played as well. Actually, no, you can't on this one. It actually tells you can't do it. There are some cards that don't say that. This card says you can't use this card during your first turn or on a Pokemon that was put into play this turn. So, my bad. That one's on me. But there are some cards, like the older rare candies, that don't say that, that can circumvent evolution rules, and they're clutch cards to have. Instead, though, we are going to be forced to put another energy on Pidgeot. I'm not going to play the Evo Soda. I could technically evolve the Pidgey on the bench, but I'm going to save it. I'm going to see if we can get hold of maybe like an Eevee or something like that and evolve things that way. But I'm still going to be able to play Clutch. I put another energy card down on him, so even though Krokorok is making me lose energy each turn, I can just put another one on. So we're going to do that. We're going to play Clutch, and it's going to do 40 damage again, and you can't retreat during your opponent's next turn. But as you can potentially see here, that means Krokorok is going to have 100 damage out of his 90 HP. So it is sayonara, thank you for playing, auf Wiedersehen. Krokorok is out of here. He's the first knockout of this match. That discard pile is not very central. That's going to bug me. There we go. And we get our first prize card, which is a Water Energy. Okay, pretty cool. Now, the question is, what do we do here? Because I could bring up Pupitar, but I'm reliant at that point on getting an energy card. One thing that makes this a lot less of a risk is that Pupitar has a Pokebody called Boost Gas. If Pupitar has any energy attached to it, the retreat cost for Pupitar is 0. Which means I wouldn't have to pay the retreat cost to do it unless something stops Pokebodies. That's awesome. So it minimises the risk of bringing up Pupitar, because if I don't draw an energy card and I can't attack with Pupitar, I can retreat him for nothing, basically. So let's draw a card to start our turn. It's another Pupitar. Different one. It's not what we needed. So I'm gonna retreat. And again, it doesn't cost anything because of that Pokebody. You can retreat once per turn. I'm going to bring up Sandile, whose main job now is to just take a few hits while I try and get some cards that I need. Which is a very unfortunate thing to do, but sometimes you got to do what you got to do. So we're going to pass along for the turn. That's the end of our turn on this side. So let's draw a card for the Pidgeot team. Another Water Energy. We'll put that on Pidgeot here, because now Pidgeot can do his bottom attack, which is called Strong Gust. It does 60 damage, and during your next turn, this Pokemon's Strong Gust attack does 60 more damage. So again, it kind of just, it goes up. You can't stack that, by the way. You cannot stack that. It does not mean you're going to do 60, 120, 180. That doesn't work that way. If you keep doing it over and over again, it does 60 more damage plus what it says on there. So anyway, 60 damage to Sandile. He's got 70 HP, so he's still alive. He's still here, but he's hurting a little bit. So we're going to try and see what we can get on our side here. Draw a card. It's a Larvitar. Oh, it's not good. Oh, it's not pleasant. Okay. There's not a lot we can do here. We don't have any energy cards. We don't have anything else we can do. We're just going to have to pass along and hope for a miracle, I suppose. So let's draw a card. We've drawn a Pidgeotto. Okay, well, screw it. Let's evolve the Pidgeotto, right? We'll put a Water Energy on him, because now we don't need to be putting energy on our Pidgeot all the time. This Pidgeotto is pretty cool. He's got Sand Attack and Ambush. So he can stop you from maybe attacking him the turn afterwards with Sand Attack, and Ambush can do more damage as well if you get ahead. So he's a cool Pidgeotto, but he's not active right now. This boy is Pidgeot. And again, we're going to play Strong Gust one more time, because it's going to do 120 now, because of course we're using it a turn after the last time we used it. So that's going to put poor Sandile on 180 damage when he's only got 70 HP. Yeah, he's out of here, isn't he? My poor boy. Poor Sandile. Let's get our prize card. It's a Water Energy card. What do? We don't have anything here. I'm going to play this Pupitar again, and hopefully maybe we'll get somewhere. I don't know, but let's draw a card to start our turn. We've drawn an Evolution Incense. Okay, this is a cool card because you can search your deck for an evolution Pokemon, reveal it, and put it into your hand and shuffle your deck. So let's play the Evolution Incense, and let's search out a card. It has to be an evolution, so we can't get Sandile, for example, but we could get Krokorok, or we could get Tyranitar. That's definitely a card that we can get hold of. We can also get Tyranitar EX over here, which I think is potentially going to be the card I go for. I'm going to pull him out, and I'm going to shuffle my deck. So Tyranitar EX, we're going to evolve him straight away. I think we will play one of our stadium cards. Don't know, tell me what you want, what you would choose, which one, but I'm going to play Sydney's Stadium. Each player's dark Pokemon can't be asleep, confused, or paralyzed. Just kind of helps a little bit, just in case maybe we have some issues moving forward. And I will evolve Larvitar into Pupitar as well. You can evolve Pokemon as many times as you want, of course, as long as they've been in play for more than one turn. So now Tyranitar EX over here. He's from one of the Pokemon Organized Play Packs, by the way. I bought them off eBay way back in the day before they were stupidly expensive as they are now. With this, you've got a move called Scratch for 20, which is ironic. Tyranitar scratching you. I don't think I'd want to get scratched by a Tyranitar. But there we go. So Scratch for 20. It is going to hit the Pidgeot, put him on 40 damage out of his 130 HP. Slow progress, but it is there. The progress is there. But that's the attack. That's the end of the turn. So let's draw a card on this side. It's another Water Energy. Yeah, we'll put it on Pidgeotto. Pidgeotto is now powered up, ready to go if we need him. And I am going to play this Evo Soda now. Search your deck for a card that evolves on one of your Pokemon and put it onto that Pokemon. So I'm going to play this, and I'm going to get the Pidgeot with the quick search that I showed you before. So let's shuffle our deck. And Pidgeot has been in play more than one turn, so I'm going to play Pidgeot. And with Pidgeot, we can do the Pokepower Quick Search. Obviously, I say once during your turn, you can choose any card from your deck and put it into your hand. I am going to go and get Ho-Ho EX. I can just go and grab him. So I'm going to shuffle our deck, because every time you obviously do that, that's what you've got to do. We've already put an energy card down this turn, so we can't put one on Ho-Ho EX just yet, but we will start powering him up very soon. Again, though, we used Strong Gust last turn, so we can use it again this turn, and it's going to do 120 damage. Tyranitar EX has 150 HP, so he's still alive, he's still going, but he won't be here for much longer. Let's draw a card to start our turn here. We've drawn a potion. It's not much help. This deck is just having a massive energy problem. But I think we're just gonna. There's no point using the potion. It's a waste because he's not gonna lose enough damage on him so that he can survive another hit anyway. So let's just play Scratch. Let's go with Scratch again. 20 damage on Pidgeot. He's obviously Tyranitar EX is now a dark type, so the resistance doesn't matter anymore. But it's still not taking out Pidgeot. So there you go. Okay, so let's start our turn, draw a card. We've drawn the second Pidgeot, but we don't worry about that just yet. We'll start powering up Ho-Ho EX. I'll tell you what I will do as well, is I will do something just to show you something else that is in this deck. I'm going to use Quick Search, and you can search for any card, one card from your deck. I'm going to get these cards here called the Legend cards. This is Lugia Legend. And I'm going to shuffle my deck, and I will show you how this works next turn. Just so you can see it. I'd like to show off that card, and it's something that I don't get to do too much in real life either, so that'll be pretty cool. But what we are going to do is we're going to Strong Gust again, which will do another 120 damage, as long as we keep using Strong Gust the turn before, which will put Tyranitar EX on 240, and that means he's over his 150 HP, and he's also out of here. Man, my favourite Pokemon just got bodied. I'm not happy about it, but it is what it is, I suppose. We get a prize card on this side, and now we have Pupitar coming up. We've drawn a Carvanha. The torment continues. We've drawn a basic Pokemon, so we'll put him on the bench. He's got a move called Scary Face, which, you know, look at him. And if you get a heads when you get a coiny flip, then the defending Pokemon can't attack or retreat during the next turn. So that could buy us some time if we put an energy card next turn. But before that, this poor Pupitar needs to just basically get bodied. I feel bad for him. I really do. But that's the end of this turn. We can't do anything else. So let's draw a card on this side. We've drawn a Jolteon. Okay. Before I do anything else, I'm going to power up Ho-Ho EX a little bit. And I'm going to use Pidgeot's Quick Search Poke Power to get the other half of this card. Lugia Legend. Okay. So, I'm going to show you. We're going to shuffle our deck. And I'm going to show you how Lugia Legend works. So, Lugia Legend, this was a gimmick, I suppose, that they did back in the Heart Gold, Soul Silver era of cards, which was around about the early 2000s, I believe. Where you basically have to have both parts of the card before you can play it onto your hand or onto your bench. So what you do is you take it and you do this. And both parts of the card together creates a picture. Like that. And there we have Lugia Legend. It was a weird dynamic that I don't really think caught on very much. But I have the cards, so I use them. Also, Poke Power, Ocean Glow. Once during your turn, when you put Lugia Legend into play, you may look at the top 5 cards of your deck and attach all energy cards you find there to Lugia Legend and discard the other cards. He has one move, it's written really weirdly, but as you can see, he needs a Fire Energy, a Water Energy, and a Lightning Energy to do Elemental Blast for 200 damage, and he discards all of those energies, one of each energies to do it. Which is why we have the Poke Power, so why not have a go at that? We can look at the top 5 cards of our decks and put as many energy cards as we like attached to Legends. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We only got a Fire Energy, okay. But we'll put him on, we'll put it on him, no problems. That also, Poke Powers and things like that, you can use them to, again, circumvent the whole 1 energy per turn rule. I don't know if we'll use him. If we got all the energies, I might have been tempted to. But, hey, never mind. Pidgeot is just absolutely destroying people. So we're going to Strong Gust again for another 120 damage. Which, on Pupitar over here, is going to be more than his 70 HP, as you can see. And poor old Pupitar is out of here too. So, I feel very, very sad for Pupitar. But it is what it is. We're going to have to bring up the Carvanha. And we're going to get another prize card over here, which is a Ninja Boy supporter. Woo-ha! Ninja Boy! It's a very interesting card. We don't need him right now. So let's draw a card to start our turn over here. We've drawn a Larvitar! I need energy! I don't need... Oh my god. This is insane. This is crazy. But, again, there's nothing we can do. My poor boy. My poor Carvanha over here. Poor Varna, more like it. And he's not going to do very well. So, let's just end the turn. We can't do anything. I feel so sad. We've drawn a Pidgey on this side. Yeah, cool. Let's go for it. We've got a Fire Energy. We'll put it on Ho-Ho EX. And I'm going to retreat the Pidgeot because he has 1 retreat cost. So I'm going to retreat him. So we'll pay the 1 retreat cost. And I'm going to bring up Ho-Ho EX because I want to show you this card. It's one of my favourite cards. It's an older card now, but it's one of my favourites. So I'm going to bring up Ho-Ho EX and we're going to play Rainbow Burn. 10 damage plus 20 more damage for each type of basic energy card attached to Ho-Ho EX. So it does 10, 20, 40, 60, plus the 10 is 70. 70 damage on Carvanha over here. He's got 40 HP. He's out of here too. We'll grab ourselves a prize card. It's a Water Energy. There's 1 prize card left, so 1 more knockout and it's game over. There's Larvitar. And we're going to draw a card. And we finally get an energy card. So we'll put that on Larvitar. Is Ho-Ho resistant to fighting? No, he isn't. So you know what? Let's go out swinging, baby. Larvitar can bite the Ho-Ho. Bite him. Yeah. And we need a damage counter. 10 damage on Ho-Ho EX. And yeah, there we go. That's the end of that turn, and it's going to be the end of the match. We'll draw a card. It's a lightning energy. We don't need it. Ho-Ho EX can do his Rainbow Burn for 70 damage again, which is going to be more than the 60 HP that the Larvitar has. And that will be game. What was the last prize card? It was an Eevee. We didn't get to use any of the Eevees this turn. We had a Jolteon in our hand, but we didn't need them. The birds did everything for us. And that's the game on this side. Did we have any good prize cards waiting for us on this side? Let's have a look. Eternatus V was in the prizes. That's shocking. And 4 energy cards. Maybe we could have used those in the game, that's for sure. But there we go. So the Pidgeot deck will go through to the next round. Obviously it's still round 1. And the matches will get much more competitive, I feel, as we get into later decks and later rounds where the more powerful of the decks are still there. So hopefully you'll stick with it up until that point. I hope you do. Hope you enjoy it. And yeah, that's all we've got for today. But a massive thank you to everybody who watches. And if you like the video, subscribe to the channel. Tell me what you liked about the gameplay. Did you like seeing the legend card? We don't get to see that very often when I play it in real life, so I'm glad I got to show you. And massive thank you to the people who make the mods, the Tabletop Simulator mods, the Flex Table, the Pokemon cards, the damage counters, the energy counters, the Pikachu dice. Couldn't do it without you guys. Absolute labour of love to do it, and I thank you from the bottom of my heart for allowing me to do what I do. And a big old thank you to Vecteezy, the website vecteezy.com, where I got the background versus render, which I use to make the thumbnails for these videos. So thank you so much, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you come back for our next match, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye.